Brian Schroeder here with Faster House. I got my partners here. Lucas Walls, I'm looking at the screen and it's backwards. And Sam Prim.
Going on.
We're trying to keep a little distance here, but yeah, there we go. There we go. So we wanted to come on here on a regular basis and give an update on what's happening in the real estate market in the St. Louis area. And we run a flipping business where we buy houses, rehab and resell them. We wholesale houses. We also have a traditional brokerage where we have agents out there doing traditional deals. We have a hard money lending business. So we're lending money to other rehabbers and landlords. And we have a lot of rental property between the three of us, over 200 and
Almost 250 doors, yeah.
250 doors roughly. And we have a title company that's in our office here. So we feel like we have a pulse on what's happening in the real estate market right now in the St. Louis area. And we wanted to just get on here and talk about it and share a little bit. So
yeah, we kind of got a little rough agenda that we're going to go over and talk on some points and all kind of give feedback, but feel free to add comments or add questions. We can see that on the screen, so we will answer any questions you have. Hi, Scott Titus. So we'll answer any questions you guys have as we're going and just kind of keep it open and kind of free flowing.
Yeah. So we're going to just start it off by just saying, this is all, we all have our own opinions on things. I'm going to be sharing my opinions. Lucas is going to be sharing his opinions. Hi, guys. Yes. Sam's going to be sharing his opinions. But I'm just going to say, for me personally, I've been in the real estate market for, basically 18 years now as an active real estate investor, and then 8 years prior to that as a real estate appraiser. So I've got a lot of experience in the real estate market, but I'm just going to say up front here, humbly, that I don't know what the heck's going on. I do not know where the real estate market is going to be 2, 3, 6 months from now. I got some opinions, but it's just opinions. So I'm going to share my thoughts, but I just want to put up front there that I don't really know.
Yeah, we are not licensed financial advisors or licensed CPA. We're just real estate investors, and that does not take a license. So,
yeah, I think 2 weeks ago when this all kind of started to break, we both are pretty optimistic and positive. And I remember posting in our closed mastermind group that I didn't think this was going to be that big a deal. It'd blow over in a couple of weeks because I like to kind of stay optimistic and not overreact to things. But we'll talk about, obviously, this is going to affect a lot now and in the future. So this is definitely something to take a lot more seriously than I originally thought. So
it is freaking changing on a day-by-day basis. It seems like there's breaking news every hour or two, and the stock market is a different market than the real estate market. So, the stock market has dropped by, I don't even know where we're at now, roughly 30% maybe. Yeah. And that happens instantly, and you see it instantly. The real estate market's like a big tanker or barge or whatever you say. It doesn't change dramatically quickly. So, I don't, and people in general, their mindset, doesn't change super quick. So I think we're all kind of just coming to grips with what's going on here. So from my personal opinion on some of the things, I think this is going to be a little bit bigger deal than a lot of people think it is. I don't know where it's going, but me personally, I'm going to kind of get a little bit conservative at the moment. Still do what we do on a daily basis. Keep doing what we do, but when we're making offers, be a little bit more conservative. Try to hoard cash to a certain extent. Try to make sure we got plenty of cash to get through this. But anyway, let's. I don't know. You got anything to add to that, either of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important on both the personal level and the business level. If your business does have monthly P&Ls, go through that P&L and see where you can trim some fat maybe, because there might be some rougher months ahead. But also on a personal level, go through those bank statements. It's a good time to do that. Go through those credit card statements and see if there's some weird subscription that you've had for months or years that you don't even know about, and go ahead and cancel that. Just little things like that, I think, will help us weather the storm.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not an expert by any means, but I would confidently say that if we're not near the end of it, this is going to last a while. So anybody that predicts when things are going to end, or, we're going to be a huge buying spree in 3 weeks when this ends, like, that's irresponsible, and I wouldn't really pay a whole bunch of attention to that. If somebody's predicting this is unprecedented, nobody's seen anything like this ever. So for someone to predict what's going to happen and there's going to be this huge buying spree and all that kind of stuff, there very well may be, but to count on that or bank on that or plan your business around, we're not going to buy any houses for the next 60 days, but in 90 days we're going to buy double, that's not the way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, just want to say what's up, Phil Blackwood, Courtney Prim, Dusty Sanders, CJ Shockley, Philip Vincent. What's going on? Scott, what's going on, man?
Pretty much our team. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Appreciate it.
So we do a quick leadership team call in the morning every day to do a quick check-in on. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of feedback from news of the day, basically. So Matt Becker runs our traditional brokerage. And we got a lot of buyers and sellers out there. And at the moment, it's kind of sort of business as usual. I mean, closings are happening today. Yep. People are looking at houses today. It's Wednesday today, just a few days ago, open houses were super busy. So I don't know what it's going to be like, 2 weeks from now or 2 months from now, but I think we'll just keep sharing what the news of the day is. And the news of the day, from my perspective, is buyers and sellers are still doing their thing.
Yep. Yeah, I think what we have going for us is a low inventory, so few listings, and some buyers that obviously got scared of all this, but then a drop in interest rates helped bring some buyers out of the woodwork. So that kind of helped rebalance it for the time being.
Yeah, I agree. I think don't want to strike the fear in anything for anybody, but I do know we have contacts all around the whole country that are real estate, and other markets aren't quite exactly like us. Definitely other markets that have a lot more cases and deaths and things like that we fortunately haven't had in Missouri or St. Louis yet. Not many cases, and I don't believe any confirmed deaths at this point. That some of the other markets are having things slow down and open houses not happen and stuff like that. So that is happening around the country a little bit. Hopefully it will come to a lesser extent here, or maybe we'll see, but it's definitely happening. So
the couple other news of the day I just wanted to share is St. Louis County has suspended doing any occupancy inspections if that property is occupied. So I'll just share my thoughts on that real quick, but I'd love you guys' opinions. But as investors, I don't know that it's huge, because most of our houses that we buy, rehab, resell are vacant when we're selling them.
Yeah, or have to get an occupancy inspection for rent.
True.
Both vacant.
True. Typically, they're vacant in those scenarios. For the traditional brokerage where they're selling somebody's house that somebody's living in, boy, that's a different story. Holy smokes. I'm not actively in the traditional business, but I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Now, our broker did say they're working on a workaround as we speak, so he'll continue to update us, and we'll continue to update you guys on what that means for St. Louis County.
And that went effective yesterday. So if you got houses that need to be inspected and they're occupied in St. Louis County today, next week, as of right now, they're not doing those inspections. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, and along those same lines, Scott Titus, who's on here, did just let me know that Overland City Hall has kind of shut down for now. So occupancy inspections will be hard, if not impossible, in the city of Overland over the next couple weeks here.
Yeah, crazy times. Lucas, you were telling me yesterday that in our flipping business, when we buy houses for financing, sometimes we use private lenders, sometimes we use banks, and we have private lenders that no one trusts us pretty damn well.
Yeah.
And we had a property that we wanted to get financing on yesterday, and you threw it out to a couple private lenders, and they kind of didn't want to do it. You want to share that a little bit?
Yeah, so normally our private lenders gobble up anything we see them before they even see the address. But we did have two that turned down a deal yesterday. Not sure if it was a particular deal or they just thought they needed to be a little heavier in cash. But we sent it to our third private lender, and he was one that got all of his money out of the stock market like 2-3 weeks ago. So good for him. And he's a little bullish on the real estate still, so he was excited to do our loan. So it's not every private lender, but we did see a little pullback.
Yeah, and that just to add to that a little bit, just some people are, I don't know, smart or lucky or whatever it is, but this one private lender of ours, he had roughly $1 million in the stock market that he pulled out like 2 weeks ago. And we just did a quick calculation. The dude saved over $300,000
Yeah.
by doing that.
Yeah, and then invest that into us and then makes money on that. So good for him.
He's smart.
Some people are
smart and lucky, bro.
Exactly.
What's up, Mike? What's up, Tammy? What's up, Brian? What's up, Rebecca? What's up, Sandra?
We will get to the questions. We kind of got a little agenda, but we see the questions on there about some tenant stuff and how we're going to handle late payments or not payments. So we will definitely get to those. We do have a plan for that. So stay tuned. We'll get to those questions.
So I just wanted to share another thing. We sent our attorney that does our evictions, so our eviction attorney, just a question yesterday, and I'll just read it to you real quick. It is a very strange time right now, and we're trying to figure out how best to manage things during this COVID-19 outbreak. I have heard that courts are shut down due to the coronavirus, but I don't see anything on their website. If we have someone who isn't paying rent this month, should we send him to legal action or not? So I just thought I'd share the response. Our attorney wrote back, the courts are closed at least through April 3rd. And this is St. Louis County. I'm not exactly sure what St. Louis City or St. Charles County are right now. However, they are accepting new filings, but court date summons are not being issued for now as we don't know when the court will resume. So sounds like no active evictions going on, but you can kind of get in line is kind of the way I interpreted that if you have anything that you want to deal with at the moment.
Yeah, the date that our lawyer has, he just set it out was April 23rd was the date of, that potentially is all our evictions are set for. I don't know if it'll get delayed or pushed up, but that's kind of the date. So at least the end of April, if not earlier. I don't think you'll be able to have much traction if you have an eviction going on.
All right. You guys had any other news of the day you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
All right. So obviously the health and safety of your team, your customers, your community is super important right now. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. We as at our company, we are allowing people to work from home, and I don't know, we got like 20-ish employees here, and I think there's like maybe 7 or 8 in today, maybe 9, something like that. So a lot of them are working from home, which is good. And we set ourselves up so everybody can teleconference pretty good. People are working, just working from home. So if you can set that up, I think I encourage that at this moment to do that. So Rachel, do you got any questions So question, how do you handle tenants who can't pay? Hold late fees? Eric, thanks for sending in that question. What do you guys think?
So we communicate with our tenants on Monday. We sent out a letter to them stating, about the virus, and we're taking it seriously. Protect yourself, be safe, be healthy. Only emergency maintenance calls. We're trying to keep the social distancing. If they have something like a small leak or something that's not important, to not call us in. We're not going to be sending out for those kind of things. But if it's an emergency or bigger issue, we will go out there. And we didn't really address the rent or potential late rent yet. We kind of are just letting that go for now and kind of see. I don't want to tell them, all right, no problem if you're late. We're not going to worry about it yet. So I got a feeling we'll talk and we'll towards the end of the month and get a plan together. But if it's like it is now or like we think it's going to be, I would imagine we're going to be much more lenient with plans, potentially put payment plans in place ahead of time, potentially look at not having those late fees in. We're going to work with them the best we can. It doesn't do any good for us to hold a hard line and collect half the rent 1 month and then when all the stuff clears up, worry about getting that extra rent back or worry about that kind of stuff. So we're going to be a little more lenient than usual, but our goal is to collect all the rent. It just may not be on the first of the month like we usually push for.
Yeah, so we're going to stick to payment plans and set up more payment plans than usual, and obviously probably stay away from the courts for a little bit as much as possible.
Yeah, and I'll just add that this is so early right now. I think we need to just let a couple weeks pass and see what's happening. If you got somebody was late prior to this all happening, maybe you're a little more firm on or something. I'm not sure, honestly, but I know the government is coming. They're going to throw a frickin' ton of money at this scenario, and I don't know what that means. I don't think any of us know what that means yet, but I think there's a good chance that the government's going to be paying people or figuring something out to get us through the 6, 8, 10-week period. I'm not exactly sure how long this period is, but for me, I just stay in good communication with any tenants that are late, any tenants for that matter. But I don't know that I would be implementing any new policies or anything at this moment. Maybe in 2 weeks, a month from now, we'll have more clarity on that. But as of right now, I don't really know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, we're still in March, and March was our best collecting month in a long, long time. So once the first of the month hits, well, I think we'll have a better idea of how it's going to affect all of our tenants. I think it will affect them, especially maybe our mid-range to lower-end tenants, especially. But we'll just see how that plays out.
Okay, we're getting feedback that it's buffering or not going. So can you say, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us?
Yeah, we're getting some potential technical issues. A lot of washers just dropped off. Could you give us a thumbs up or a comment or something if you're still able to hear us? We're hearing that there's some buffering going on, but we'll just keep going through. But
awesome. All right, so we're going to just keep on going, but so mindset. I think mindset is super important in times like this to keep a positive mindset and keep doing what you're doing. So either one of you guys want to talk about that for a sec?
yeah, I kind of hit on a little bit earlier the mindset of people, acting like they know what's going to happen, or already trying to take advantage of the situation and everything. I think the biggest thing is to have a humble, positive mindset. This is going to affect a lot of us, but it's not going to be the end of the world. We're going to get through this. We've gotten through worse things. It's going to be okay. It's just going to be a little bit worse probably before it gets better. So I would say be positive, be humble. Don't be out there trying to beat your own horn or anything like that. And just try to help as much as you can. This isn't the time to try to take advantage of people or to do that. Just be a team player during this time.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line between blind optimistic and putting your head in the sand and hoping this goes away. So we're kind of in the middle, preparing for the worst, but honestly hoping for the best. And we do have some optimistic outlooks on what's going to happen here. But yeah, mindset. So keep a positive mindset. Keep your routine as part of that to help you keep that positive mindset. Get your workouts in. Get outside. Get in the sun. Go for a walk. Find some quiet time. Hopefully that walk is your quiet time. If not, just spend some time in one of your favorite places at the house by yourself and your own thoughts, where you don't have this craziness all around you. Yeah, and stay informed, check in on the news, but don't let it consume you. There's a lot of news outlets out there that's portraying different things. So figure out what you believe in, but don't let it consume you too much.
All right, so next thing I thought we'd just throw out there is I kind of think at a time like this, cash is king. So it may be too late to really do too much as far as pulling cash out, but if you got any lines of credit that you can access, I think it's good to make sure that you have cash available. If you still wanted to try to refinance your house, pull out some cash or some rentals, I think doing that at this time is good. Maybe even just check in with some private lenders, make sure that they're still comfortable, and maybe they're even somebody like our one private lender that just pulled a bunch of money out of the stock market and is looking for some good real estate to put it in. So find access to cash. You need to have access to cash during times like this.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a very, very large portfolio refinance, 7-figure cash out. So or 6-figure cash out. So we'll let you know how that goes because we're literally in the middle of it. Appraisal's been done. So, and then we're also meeting with our private lender today to talk about plans going forward. So we are preparing to try to have as much cash in hand as and have the right people with us.
Yes, we are.
Awesome. All right. Another thing I would recommend is just kind of, you were talking about this a little earlier, Lucas, about maybe trying to reduce some expenses if you can.
Yep. Yeah. Jumped the gun on that a little bit, but I'll say it again. Just go through your business P&L, your personal bank statements, credit card statements, and see if you got any weird reoccurring payments that you can live without. I know we're going to be spending a lot of time at home probably over the next few weeks, but that doesn't mean you have to be on Netflix or Hulu or DirecTV the whole time. So, if you can live without one or all of those, great, cut it. Now's the time to do that before it's too late. So I don't think it will be too late, but get ahead of it a little bit if you can.
Awesome. And we addressed this just a little bit earlier too, but it might be worth talking a little bit more about, is this the time to do anything unusual or risky in your business? I'm talking about here. One of the things that we talk a lot about is staying within our core focus, or what I call our Hedgehog Concept. If anybody's familiar with Jim Collins' Good to Great, which for us I'll just talk about our flipping business here. We try to buy houses that are like under 250,000 is kind of our core niche. Maybe a little more landlord friendly, smaller rehabs. And when I say smaller, they're more cosmetic type rehabs, kitchens, baths, but we're not like putting second stories on or adding additions or moving a lot of walls around. So that's our core focus. So we're going to try to stay in that lane for a little while. Not saying we're not going to buy any houses, because that's what we do, but stay conservative and stay in our lane.
Yeah, because we need to buy houses because we have a team of 15 people to feed and payroll and everything. So we are going to continue to buy houses, but we're going to be smart about it. If we don't buy, our goal is to buy 14, I think, in March, and I think we're going to buy that. But our goal in April, I think, is 16. We might not quite buy 16. That's okay. Maybe we'll buy a little bit less than that, but there'll be good, comfortable buys that we can at least get through. So we definitely carry the weight of having to pay people during this time, as opposed to a lot of wholesalers, maybe have other jobs or, can just be a little more conservative and not buy. We are definitely going to be buying, but we're going to be conservative about it.
Well said.
Well said.
Thanks, dude.
Would you buy rentals right now?
I think I would.
You are.
Yeah.
You're buying.
We're
closing one on Monday.
We were under contract on that one before kind of this got crazy though. But yes, I would. Just make sure you're deep enough and make sure they're simple, quick, easy rehabs, and that you can refinance quickly on the back end. So you get that hard money loan off there. You get that private lender their cash back, and get that long-term note. And if you can pull out a little cash, maybe go up to 80% LTV on your BRRRR where you normally do 75%. Go ahead and pull out an extra $2, $3, $4, $5,000. I think now's the time to do that.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're not in the prediction game, which we're not going to do, but do you want to talk? I kind of led into adding rentals and what long-term financing looks like. Do you want to talk a little bit about the difference in 08? Because Brian went through 08, 2009, and how that looked compared to this. Just it's coming from a different angle. Real estate caused that. Real estate's not causing what's going on right now. I just want to talk a little bit about the differences.
Well, I tell you, one difference that I'm seeing already is in 2008, and honestly, I knew that we were going into a real estate issue. I didn't know how big it was going to be in early 2007. But the shit really didn't hit the fan until the middle of 2008 or toward the end of 2008. When Lehman Brothers went down, that's when the shit really hit the fan. As soon as that happened, banks pulled lines of credit.
Yeah.
Banks stopped lending if they could, and for as long as they could. So it got really hard to get bank financing during that period of time.
Right.
I feel like this is different because I feel like the banks were well capitalized 2 weeks ago, and the federal government is like pumping liquidity into the banking system. And I'm not an expert on this, but just the Fed's they drop rates to the Fed funds rate, not mortgage rates. The Fed funds rate to zero, their reserves basically to zero, and the Fed is telling banks to lend. So I don't see that people are going to be pulling lines of credit. I don't see that banks are going to be pulling back on financing real estate in the near future. As a matter of fact, I talked to 2 of our 3 primary bankers yesterday, and both of them were totally fine with us doing any lending. And I actually have a big refinance that's closing this Friday. So I think the lending is still going to be there. I don't see anything changing on that. That is one huge thing that's different than the 2008 time period.
Yes, well said.
All right, so let's. One other thing I want to just kind of touch on is just during times like this, I think communication is super important. One of the reasons why we're getting on here and doing this live stream, just to share our thoughts, with our community, and answer any questions, get feedback from people. But we're also being diligent on doing that with our team members and our private lenders, our bankers. Anybody want to add to that?
Yeah, I think just communication is key. Like I said earlier, we emailed and sent our tenants a letter. We talk to our team every day, talk to our family, talk to my parents a little more, making sure they're not doing anything crazy. So we're just communicate right now. It doesn't hurt to talk to people and be on your phone all the time, especially if you're not going to be going out to the bar, hanging out with buddies or doing that kind of stuff. So it doesn't hurt at all to be to over communicate at this time.
No, it doesn't. Figure out, who the most important people are to communicate. Obviously, it's your team, your customers, your lenders. I've reached out to every one of my lenders this week or the past 2 weeks and just get their feel, get their idea of what's going on. Just talk with them. It doesn't have to be a set agenda. Just let them know that we have confidence in your team and that we're going to keep moving forward. Customers, so wholesalers and stuff, be reaching out to those guys and let them know that you still have cash, you can close those deals, and then your family is a big one. So let them know that things might get tight coming up a little bit, but kind of set that precedence early, so when things do get tight, your wife's not yelling at you or something.
My wife never
She's
yells.
so
All right, guys, this was good. I'm glad we did this today. If you found some value on this, please like it and share it. We're going to be doing this on a regular basis. For sure, we'll do this next Wednesday, same time, 9:30 a.m. We may jump on here a time or two in between, depending on what's going on in the market. So if you got any questions, feel free to comment, and we'll try to follow up on this post. You guys got anything to add?
We launched our YouTube channel like a week and a half ago. It's got a lot of really good traction. We already got 8 videos on there. We release them every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Time. So go ahead on YouTube and like and subscribe to that. And we got some really good content, some a little more professional videos with all that going on. So we talk a lot about buying rentals. So
Is there any questions that we missed, Rach, that we need to get to?
No.
cool.
All right. Good seeing everybody.
All right, see you. Thanks, guys.